back.
We're back.
What is up?
All right, let me pull up the chat here. Can you hear me, Josh?
I can hear you. Can
All
you
right.
hear me?
I can hear you. Turn
Cool.
me up. Can you turn me up just a little bit?
Yeah, I got you. All right. Yeah, we're live. We're here. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties. I was setting up the cameras, and the cameras just the connection to the computer just wasn't computing. So had to restart a couple of times, and eventually it worked itself out. But we are here. We're glad to be here. As you see, we have a list of things that we're going to get into today, starting with our first. We had some recent signings that just came up. So let's talk about
Yeah,
them.
we got 3 guys signing this week, so a lot of exciting stuff. First guy was the guy in your graphic.
Yep.
Tyrese Robinson. Shout out to Tyrese. Been in the program. Fantastic kid, fantastic player. And for each of these guys, so Tyrese is signing tomorrow. Hopefully I can make that one. But I was going to talk about some of these guys' stats for the high school season.
Yeah, let's talk about Tyrese. He's going to where's he headed to? Piedmont University,
yep.
which is one of the most beautiful fields.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just baseball fields in general, whether you go to D1, D2, D3, but great D3 program up there. Is Hayden still up there?
No, Coach Craig left. He is I forgot. He's like an assistant at Division I school. I can't remember the name of the school off the top of my head.
Well, yeah, we've had a strong relationship with them over the last couple of years because of Hayden. He actually coached with us this summer, and so they generally make it out to our scout day. So good to see one of our guys making that connection there.
Yeah, for sure. I think Piedmont's come to our scout day the last few years. I got some awesome stats from Tyrese. This is from his year this year from Dublin. They went 20-11, and Tyrese led them offensively in a lot of different categories.
I love it.
Played in 25 games. He missed a few games because he plays basketball. So he missed a few games, but it didn't stop him from leading the Irish in batting average at .464. His on-base percentage was .568. He had 32 hits, 19 singles, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 3 homers, and his OPS was right around the 1.3.
That's insane.
So yeah,
those are insane numbers there.
Yeah, shout out to Tyrese. He had twice as many walks as he had strikeouts.
There it is. That's what you love to see right there.
Yeah, good stuff. Congratulations, Tyrese, man. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
Great athlete, great kid, great student on top of that. And it was funny for Tyrese because we had I was talking to another few coaches about him, and you know, last year I remember he was getting looks from other schools too, and he played basketball, and so he was doing some other stuff, but he's going to be, I think, an impact player
right.
for
Yeah,
Piedmont. And
absolutely.
That's awesome because, in today's game, it's so hard for high school seniors to get shots at those bigger schools because of the transfer portal. And so I think that's going to be a good fit for him. He's going to be able to possibly have an impact quickly.
I love it. Yeah.
So, shout out to Tyrese signing tomorrow over there at Dublin. Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, let's get into our next guy, Mr. Parker Landrum.
I'll let you start talking about him. I'll try to pull some of his stats up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Parker, the crazy thing about Parker is I've generally coached the older teams. And when Parker came to us when he was a freshman, he came to us kind of late on in the season. So we didn't have any spots available at his age group. But he played up with the 17U. And, at first he had just finished starting as a varsity down in Bainbridge, which was, already good because he had experience playing, older kids. And so, he got in there and he was scrappy. He was kind of down in the order. But by the end of the summer, man, I think he was my 1 or 2 hole hitter as a freshman and coaching, the 17U guys who are about to graduate. Right. And that's just a testament to, all the hard work he puts in and the talent and caliber player that he is. Obviously, number 1 ranked in the program right now, just from a legacy perspective. And we'll probably get into, what that means a little bit later in our little Prophylytic section. But yeah, just class act kid, always shows up, plays his butt off, and you can't really ask for much more as a coach.
Yeah, for sure. And also, guys, let me get some folks in the chat. I don't think we've had anybody in the chat so far. I don't know if we need to adjust something. I posted about to be live. But somebody drop a comment. Let's make sure our chat's working here.
Yeah, because if it is not,
All right, we got Jaden Daniels. We're hot. We're good.
Cool.
Appreciate that, Jaden. All right, we were just checking.
Right, JD's in the building.
But
Shout out.
No, Parker's been a guy in our program who's been absolutely fantastic. I got to go watch him last week.
Mm-hmm.
They played Peach County. Peach County's really good this year. They had some more talent come in and join their program. They're like 30-2. And so Bainbridge had a tough draw for them in like the Sweet 16. And Bainbridge, I've talked to, Parker and Corbin's down there as well. He was in our top 10. Shout out to Corbin for that quality bat percentage graphic you put up a minute ago. But yeah, they had some coaching turnover this year.
Yeah. I
had their record on the stats I'm looking at is 13-14. So right around 500, ran into Peach County. And Parker, for them, in a lot of ways, it looked to me like he kind of put the team on his back. And I'm going to throw some stats at you, and these are going to surprise you, okay?
They're going to surprise me?
You mentioned him. Yeah, they're going to surprise you because you mentioned him.
I put in the stats, Elias. They might not.
No, I think they might.
Okay, here we go.
They might. But he, you mentioned for on your team a few years ago, he was the one leadoff guy, two-hole guy, like a 16U playing up, right?
Right.
Parker Landrum pitched 54 innings for Bainbridge this year.
No way.
Yeah, and let me see, where did he?
Because he was always kind of like a pitcher, but like he wasn't, one of the guys you.
Yeah, he pitched 54 innings and had a 2.3 ERA with a 1.3 WHIP. And so he was doing some crazy stuff. That's insane, especially late in the year. I remember seeing some stuff. He was going 6-7 innings, throwing shutouts to continue to extend his high school career. Didn't have the best season offensively, it looked like, but his on base percentage was still over 400.
Yeah.
And he's an impact guy. I saw him, he was playing third base in the series that I went to last week. And so he can play anywhere in the field. He played anywhere in the field with us. And another guy who I think has, great potential to be a good college player at Thomas University. So great job, Parker.
I think that's just a testament to just how he shows up and the level of grit he plays with, that even when, like you said, probably not his best offensive, showing, but he's going to find a way to impact the game, right? He's going to find a way to help his team get in a position to win. And that's one thing that I always really admired about the way he played, was he was always going to, try to take that extra base. He was always laying out, even if a ball was, just clearly out of his reach, because he's just trying to make something happen. And at the very least, what it shows the other guys is that, hey, like, I need to get after it like this guy is getting after it.
Yeah.
And so it inspires people to, elevate their game to where he is playing. But shout out to Coach Trent in the house. Absolutely right. Comment should be coming up here shortly, but he said Parker was easily one of the best hitters to ever come through the program. Also the first player to play every season, freshman, senior year, all with the Stars. Yeah, so he was the first guy to, go for. And we got some other guys that are about to get to that mark, like Quentin Peterson.
Yep.
Who he actually started before. He started the same time as Parker.
He played as a seventh grader.
But he played as a seventh grader.
We're talking about franchise guys.
It's unbelievable.
These kids are awesome, man. Parker is definitely in a class of his own. But yeah, we're proud of you, Parker, man. You've had an awesome high school career. I know it came to an end last week, excuse me. But yeah, awesome high school career there for Parker. And we got one more guy who's actually signing Wednesday, a guy you know really well.
Yes.
Was at your wedding.
Yeah, he filmed. Right? He helped film the wedding.
I'm
probably about to reach out to him because I just got another wedding. That I'm like, hey, you want to come help film this one too?
Yeah.
But just a class act guy. A good representative of everything you would want a kid to embody. All right, he's one of the leaders at his FCA at his high school. He shows up. And he's one of those guys, he's like, yeah, I know I'm not the most talented guy in the world, but he's like, I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to, try to find a way to get an advantage and, use my strengths so that I can, elevate my game. And he's another one of those guys. Every time he grabbed the ball, he would get on the mound and he would just fill it up to the best of his ability. And he just let the cards fall where they may, whether his defense was helping him out that day or they weren't. He always, put his team in a gave his team or a chance to make a play at least.
Yeah. And we're talking about Tyler Knight, Veterans High School here in Middle Georgia guy. Fantastic kid, and he called me this week letting me know about his signing ceremony and everything. And he mentioned possibly redshirting because he's got to get bigger, he's got to get stronger to really have an impact over there at Middle Georgia State. But he had some great numbers this year too. I found their stats. He threw 46 innings at Veterans. And he had a 3.6 ERA. So
that's good.
Absolutely pounded the zone. When you get a good defense behind a pitcher like Tyler Knight, your team can have a lot of success.
And that's what it's all about. Like, I think a lot of pitchers, and everybody's obsessed with fastballs. You see, all these guys coming up, and he's like, who's going to be the next guy throwing 103 miles per hour? And so some of these kids that, don't throw as hard, but they're really good pitchers, right? They know how to hit spots. They know how to keep hitters off balance. They kind of get overlooked, but they're so valuable, right? Because, if you can only throw a fastball, or your fastball has, it's all over the place, then like you're not going to be very effective, especially in summer baseball. And so like if you walk the bases loaded, like all it takes is a little bloop and the game can get out of hand. And Tyler Knight was always a guy who you gave him the ball, he was filling up the zone, whether they were hitting it or whether they weren't. And that's all you can really ask for as a coach is, get out there and compete your butt off. So
no doubt about it. But yeah, congratulations to Tyler Knight. Hopefully I can make that signing as well, and you might be able to.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can go support him. Tyler was a great pitcher for us. So congratulations, Tyler. Proud of you, man.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler there.
Very good. And after those three, so that's just this week's signings.
Yes.
So hopefully we're going to have some more to come.
Yes.
And speaking of signees, I wanted to just briefly talk about the class of 2025.
Yeah, I think I had a thing for him. Go ahead, pull them up. Yeah, I'm not sure if I made a button, but
no, that's all right.
Yeah, go. Oh, actually, no, I did. All right, so this is what we're gonna do.
All right,
this is what we're gonna do. All right, so they get a little grand production. I'm gonna announce their names, and you get to say, a short little sentence about each one of them as they cycle through.
Okay.
I think I went and grabbed all the graphics that said 25 from the Facebook. So, or
Fair
at least
enough.
most of them that played with us. So,
Sure.
But if I missed anybody, charge it to my head, not my heart, and we'll make sure we shout you out on the next one. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
We're gonna miss people every podcast, guys. Don't take it personally.
Yeah, don't take it personally.
We could barely figure out the cameras, much less.
Yeah. So like, if we miss you, just let us know. We make sure we'll double back and get you. So
we will. We certainly will.
Yes. So here's some of our signees from the class of 2025.
Oh, let's go. We got the trophy room.
Yes. So we are in the trophy room. It's supposed to be cycling through. If it doesn't, then...
If it doesn't, that's fine. I can just... Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
We got
Wes Taylor.
Let's go. Barry got a good one in Wes Taylor. Really, really shined up there at Calhoun this spring. Fantastic season for him. Jonathan Jarvis.
Jonathan Jarvis.
Yeah, I'll let you announce it. There you go. He's got the reverb on. No, fantastic lefty hitter, good talented infielder. Excited to see what he does.
Cooper Dasher,
the sidearm guy. Cooper always stands out to me as a guy who really invested in his recruitment. Congratulations to him.
Jonathan J.P. Rutland.
Yep, another talented arm. And also, he's been doing really well offensively as well for CCA this season. So,
Colby Smith.
Oh yeah, Colby coached him a couple of different seasons. He's going off the point. One of a couple of different point commits we got. Also another talented guy on both sides.
Jonathan Coleman.
There he is, Tex. That's his nickname. Another Point University guy. And I think our total number, it might be up to 15 or 16 now.
Matt Appio.
All right, there's a 2024 class of guy snuck in there. That's fine.
He graduated.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Trey Chamberlain.
Yep, shout out to Trey. Don't know if Trey's watching it, but Trey was pitching recently. Might have had an injury thing, so hopefully you're good, Trey.
Aiden Kelly.
Yep, another talented pitcher. Gordon State, Aiden Kelly. Very cool.
Chandler Aguirre.
Yep, there's one of our all-region guys from this spring. Had a good high school season.
Tyrese Robinson.
Yeah, Tyrese. Already talked about him. Bright future right there.
and Parker Landry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we don't even have a graphic yet for Tyler Knight, I don't think. But I'm sure we could put something together for him. But yeah, man, we've got a lot of kids, and I think it's close to 30 over the last 2 years. So I think
it's probably exponentially grown year to year.
Right.
It's especially since I started about 5 years ago, but definitely within the last couple of years, specifically, just the connections that these kids are making, and the opportunities that they're getting to go play at the next level has just been awesome. Like it's really been a joy to my heart.
No doubt. I think we're up to 30 for the last two seasons combined. So exciting stuff, man. Congratulations to all you guys. Wanted to spotlight you guys as we end the high school year. But next, you have a video, or do we want to hop into our interview? We got a guy waiting on us.
Yeah, let's get into.
Do you have the video?
Yeah, I got the video queued up, bro. What do you mean? All right, guys. So Christian Hewitt sent his team to the Elite Eight in elite fashion. So I want you guys to check this out.
I believe this was in the 9th inning of an extra inning game. There's our guy Hewitt. Gets the knock. Sends the Stevens County boys to the Elite Eight, and they got a big matchup coming up this week. Hope you guys didn't play today. I think it's tomorrow. I can't keep up with everybody. But yeah, they've got a big rivalry series coming up this week versus their rivals, Franklin County. So some other kids we know from that school. Yeah. Big matchup. So so that was awesome. That's what Hewitt did last week. Sent his team to the Elite Eight. So that was awesome to see. A lot of guys continuing to play into the playoffs. So I love it when our guys miss our first practice because they're still playing. They're still competing for a ring. So that's awesome.
Reminded me of the Cook brothers, was it last year or the year before, where they won state, and I think they didn't show up to like the first tournament, which was cool. But yeah, I mean, just you can see that's what this game is all about. Being able to get in big moments and come through for your team, and it's really special. We alluded to it last week when we were talking about just how special high school baseball is, the camaraderie. You've grown up with these guys, you're playing for your hometown, and to be in that position and then come through to send your team to the Elite Eight. And I'm not sure how often Christian school goes that deep into the playoffs, but I mean, making it to the Elite Eight is no small feat at all.
Not.
So
absolutely not.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, no, they got a new head coach this year, a guy that Coach Trent knows pretty well too. Coach Dason Cash.
Awesome.
So yeah, I don't think they had nearly that good of a season last year. And I've been kind of following them throughout the season because we know several guys from up there in that area. They've gotten hot at the right time,
and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about is getting hot at the right time.
That's right.
But yes, thank you, Joe. Joe Mama.
I don't know who Joe Mama is.
I'm not sure who Joe Mama is.
Who's Joe Mama?
But they said, I love this podcast so much, guys. I appreciate it. D-Pass said, great production, Coach Profit. Shout out to you, Dustin. And yeah, we're going to keep it chucking along. We have a special treat for you today. Last week, we talked about a guy named Cal Gentry. And shout out to Cal Gentry because it's his birthday.
Today is Coach Cal's birthday. Happy birthday, Coach Cal.
We're not talking to him. We're talking to our other most recent coach signing in Coach Hunter. So we're going to bring him on. Hopefully he's been standing by. There he is. What's up, Coach Hunter? How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Good. So
yeah, Hunter, thanks for hopping on, man. We're really excited to have you join the staff this summer. So yeah, we wanted to get you on so a lot of the players in the program can start getting to know you. And so that's the purpose of this little segment. But man, just give us an update. Tell me about your last 48 hours.
Last 48 hours was we made it to the conference semifinals for our tournament, and then which was a run because we were the 8th seed coming in all the way from a playing game.
Oh, that's
we
awesome.
Knocked off number 1 in the conference, number 4 in the conference, and number 6, I think. But yeah, pretty good run. And then got beat by two pretty good teams, just got outplayed, and now I'm at home, a retired athlete.
Now he's at home, man.
Retired
he just hung
athlete.
him up. So for anybody who doesn't know, Coach Hunter was in the closer role for Emmanuel University this season. So he's been a 4-year guy at Emmanuel. And Hunter, if I get something wrong, you just tell me, okay? Originally from Auburn, Georgia, he went to Appalachia High School, a relief pitcher, and he just mentioned kind of the magical run that they went on.
Right.
So in the conference tournament, they come in as the 1 seed, and then you knock off number 1, UNG, North Greenville. Is that who it was? Was that the first game?
Francis Marion was number 1.
Oh, Francis Marion.
4, we beat both of them.
Yeah, I remember I played Francis Marion my first 2 years in the Peach Belt. So that had a nice place. Our conference tournament was actually there my first 2 seasons. And then they went to the, I think, Conference of Carolina, whatever conference y'all are in right now. So that's cool. There's some overlap there.
Yeah, very good. I wanted to, let me find my tab here. I'm confusing myself here with all my tabs I got pulled up. But wanted to dive into a little bit of, Hunter's background, some of his stats. If I can find my tab here.
Yeah. Okay.
Give me just a second here. Let me just get out of that.
Yeah, you're good.
I had it pulled up and then it's gone. Here we go. All right. So at Emmanuel, Hunter, over your career, amassed 108 innings pitched. This season, you threw, let's see, how many was it? 2025. You threw 36, all out of the bullpen, I assume. 18 different appearances, led the team in saves with 4. And then also, one of the numbers that stood out to me over your career, and this is probably a good indication of a good bullpen guy, is you had almost a strikeout every inning. So you had 102 strikeouts, to 108 innings pitched. And some of the nastiest guys, might get close to 2 if they're like big league stuff, But yeah, man, you amassed a lot of innings. You threw a lot of pitches over your college career. So yeah, man, you've got a lot of good experience on the mound in tight situations, I'm sure. So we'll talk about that more later. But as we get to know you, Hunter, I've got a few questions lined up. And Josh, do you have the questions in front of you? Or
yeah, we can just alternate going back and forth.
All right. See, why don't you take the first one? And what we'll do, Hunter, this is like lightning round. All right. So we're going to ask the questions, maybe 5 seconds to get an answer. And if you're like, I don't have a good answer to that one, just say pass. I think we got 9 or 10 of them lined up. But these will be kind of fun, short questions.
Yeah,
Josh,
just getting you warmed up for the real ones.
Yeah. So, go ahead. You start first, Josh.
All right. So, favorite baseball movie of all time?
Moneyball.
Moneyball. Okay.
Moneyball, a classic. What was your best walk-up song you ever had, or if you could go back, that you wish you had?
Yeah, it'd be the last 2 years was Simple Man.
Just some Skinner, bro. That's classic.
I love it.
Nothing like Skinner coming out of the bullpen.
All right. How about most clutch moment in your playing career?
Oh, man. No, we'll pass this one. We can come back to it.
We'll come back to that.
Okay, no problem.
Who was your favorite major league player growing up?
Favorite growing up, I really liked Kimbrel for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, probably had to be him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when he was with the Braves, like that was like peak, like when I was in like middle and high school, like everybody did the Kimbrel. That's a good one, especially for a closer. I mean, that's if I had to guess who you would have picked, it might have been him. Love that.
So, what are some of your hobbies that you do outside of baseball?
I really like working out, being outside. I'll video game here and there, but that's about it. It's mostly baseball.
Just chill, baseball.
Mostly baseball.
Locked in. I love it.
What about a pregame ritual or superstition? Were you a superstitious guy? What'd you
do? If I did one thing, I did it for a while until I had a bad game. So it kind of changed month to month, but I was pretty superstitious, yeah.
Okay. Anything you'd like to share, or just it changed every month?
For a while, I had to go to McDonald's before the game, which was not good.
What a pregame meal.
That reminds me of that. That's a documentary.
I got food poisoning from it, so I stopped.
Yeah, the documentary where the guy eats nothing but McDonald's.
Yeah, Supersize.
Supersize me.
Yeah.
Oh my
You were doing
goodness.
that. Supersize me in the bullpen.
That's insane.
It's
Man, we have a pretty good. I will double back to it, but we have a pretty good thing about our state championship run where we're going to somewhere. But yeah, so what's one thing that your players may be surprised to learn about you?
I don't think I have an answer for that one.
Okay, that's fine. We'll pass that one. We can come back to it if we need to. And then my next question is, what's the best baseball stadium you ever played in?
Oh man. I played at South Carolina when I was pretty young. That was nice. North Georgia, University of North Georgia is
Shout
obviously
out.
up there. It's beautiful.
Coach Josh.
Yeah, I went to North
alumni.
Georgia.
He's got his picture up on the
nice.
wall over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of those two were pretty nice. We just played at Caramont Health Park. It's up in Gastonia. It's beautiful, very nice. But yeah.
Awesome.
Very good. Good stuff there. And we got one more for him, Josh?
Yeah, favorite non-baseball sport to watch or play?
Oh, probably golf.
Golf.
Classic.
Yeah,
I mean,
go.
if you're a
good at
pitcher
it,
in golf, like, I
Yeah.
golf.
Do you play a lot of fungo golf? Did you play a lot of fungo golf?
I'll play every once in a while. Not too much though.
Yeah, the guys at North Georgia were all about it. It was kind of wild. But yeah, so I'd love to hear your most clutch moment in your playing career. So while you're thinking about that, Coach Justin and I can tell you about during our state championship run, we were eating Shane's Rib Shack like every meal because we kept winning. And we were like, we have to go find Shane's Rib Shack. And it got to the point where I was like, I can't eat barbecue.
Was that like after our games? Like, would we?
I forgot whether it was before or after, but I know that it was a part of like the whole ordeal that we were doing, and it got nasty. But
baseball's funny about those superstitions, huh? And awesome. Well, also while you're thinking about that, the answer to that, Hunter, if you can, if you guys have any questions for Coach Hunter, drop them in the chat. We might circle back and hit some more before he leaves this evening. So, you guys got any questions for Coach Hunter? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. But what you got, Hunter? Clutchest moment of your career? Anything come to mind?
This year we played Belmont, and I came in pretty tight situation. I think it was first and second, maybe bases loaded or something, and worked my way out of that. Pretty much just any like shutdown runners on base and holding them there. There were a couple of those this year. I think Pembroke I had one, Young Harris I had one, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's funny when you're a relief pitcher guy. I mean, every now and then, like you'll come in a situation that's not tight, just because like you need innings, you need work, you need to stay fresh, you need to stay sharp. But like other than that,
it's like high stress.
You got to be clutch, like all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's a very unique role. You know, there's not a lot of sports. I mean, you can kind of think about like a kicker coming in. He's got one job to do, get it done. They win. If he doesn't, they lose type deal. It's not the same, obviously. But those high stress moments, cool. Very good, man. Well, we got some more coaching geared questions for you. I thought you did pretty good on the lightning segment there. First, coaching kind of philosophy question here. Was there a coach or mentor who had a big impact on your development as a player? And if so, how has that shaped your approach now as a coach?
I'll say there's three that I can name pretty quickly. My current pitching coach in Emmanuel, or I guess pitching coach, Coach Hennessy.
He was your coach 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
But he was really good, really mental sided coach. So a lot of it was just like, I don't care what your physicals are, but if you can have really strong mentals. So I took a lot from him with that. Both of my high school coaches, which are both Coach Bailey's, they're brothers, Alan and Kyle. They were both great, really good motivators, and just pushing you up to the next level. So a lot of that's rubbed off on me, just being able to motivate and help everybody see that there is a next level and how to get there.
Yeah, for sure. Great answer there. And also too, like you mentioned, this question talks about your coaching. And even though you're just, you're finishing up your coaching career, I missed a couple of things about your background. Is you've done some travel ball coaching in the past. You coached last summer, and you've also helped coach Emmanuel's JV program as well.
Oh, wow.
And so not only is he a player, he's got coaching experience, and his degree is health and PE. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong, working, or I don't know if you finished, but the master's in coaching, right?
Finished it, yeah. Just
So yeah,
Oh,
I mean, this
awesome.
guy's got a master's degree in
I
coaching.
love it. So
He
he's
needs to
like,
be
he's
interviewing
born.
us.
Yeah, he's born. He's born for this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, Hunter, with your relief pitching background, what advice would you give to a high school player who thinks a bullpen role might be in their future? Like, what are some things to make successful bullpen pitchers at a high, or what are things that make a successful bullpen pitcher at a high level?
a lot of it first is realizing that everyone on a college staff was probably a starter in high school. So
Yeah.
you're coming in, you're probably going to think, oh, I'm a starter. I was the same way. And
Mm-hmm.
probably everybody on my team was the same way. But when you get to college, it kind of goes out the window because there can only be 3, 4 starters, maybe 5. And a lot of it for me was just treating every inning like it was kind of the ninth inning. Like, give it all you got for that inning, get out of whatever jam you're in or whatever the situation might be, and taking advantage of opportunities. Obviously, like if you're at the bottom of a bullpen, you're going to have opportunities, whether it's a blowout or winning or losing. You're going to get opportunities, and you just got to take advantage of those and just treat every game like, oh, it's the ninth inning. I got to get out of this and win the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely something where like you have to train for that mentality. It's like it's hard to
Yeah.
flip that switch unless you've like, trained your body and your mind to, be comfortable in that. And so that's something that definitely takes that mental training. And then like you said, I think that comment you made about everybody in high school is a starter stud. And then you go off to college and then like all of a sudden you might not be the stud anymore.
Yeah.
And then so
Yeah.
figuring out a way to have an impact and to get on the field and to get innings is something that's certainly challenging, especially as you progress in this game. Cool, great answer. What advice would you give a 16-year-old who wants to play college baseball but doesn't know where to start?
Thinking about this for if I was talking to myself at 16, especially, it would start with getting the weight room. Um, you're either going to show up not ready or you're going to get there. And for me, like it was embarrassing to work out because it was like, oh, I've never moved this type of weight or I've never done this type of workout. So I think getting ahead and getting stronger than some of the guys around you is a really good start. And just kind of like y'all talk about just reaching out to coaches, getting your name out there, trying to build connections because you never know. For me, I always looked at it as okay, if I find a coach somewhere that I like, chances are that eventually they'll change jobs or they might go somewhere else and now they're the recruiter. And you just kind of got to keep your options open for that.
Yeah, good answer. That's a big thing too. That the stuff you said about the weight room, like I think the number one thing that I tell a lot of our high school guys is the difference between you and a college player is physicality. It's a different game when you get to college, especially now in today's game with the portal and with the COVID stuff that allowed guys to have the extra year, and it's just a different game. It's just harder
That's
than
130 pounds. And then got to college and had to gain weight and got up to, I think at my most I was 215. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be physical to be a college player. There's no doubt about it. I think that's great advice.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
there's a reason why, coaches put so much emphasis on weight, and, some of it gets blown out of proportion a little too much, but there's a lot of merit and truth to why they're saying like, hey, you need to gain weight. And it's because the game is so much, the game's faster, the game's more powerful. They're going to hit the ball harder. They're going to hit the ball higher. And so you have to be in a physical condition in order to keep up with that, or else you're going to get surpassed. I mean, it's just like the same thing when, we all had that kid in Little League who tore it up. And then by the time he got to high school, he was getting passed by everybody, right? It's the same thing. Like you got to stay on top of your craft and you got to stay grinding. So, yeah, I like that answer.
for sure, for sure. You got the next one, Josh?
Yeah. So, if there was one thing that you could kind of drive home that you hoped all of your players would take away, what would that one thing be?
um, so like taken away from me as a coach.
Yeah, yeah. Did you as a coach, or just something that you want to instill, whether it's like, a value, a certain mentality, like what would that be?
I think hard work and just confidence. Like you got to have enough belief in yourself to go out there and know that if I give it my all, I can go out there and win. Because the second you are playing under your confidence or you're down on yourself, your ability comes way down with it.
Yeah.
You'll never outplay your confidence in my eyes. So if your confidence is 50% of your skill, you're at most going to be a 50% player. So I think just having really high confidence and knowing like your hard work is what builds that confidence. I think a lot of it's just that for me.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that you're only going to be 50% of yourself is, I think, really crucial, because a lot of people, decrease their actual ability by their limiting belief in their mind. And, that's why, coaches are always telling like people like, no, like you're good. Like we see the potential in you. But a lot of times it's not the physical block that they have to get over. It is actually a mental block. And it's like, no, get in there, like swing the bat. Like you got it. Like your swing's good enough. You have to believe that when you step into the box. So that's a big part of the game.
A great example of that over the weekend, like we were coaching the 14 you guys, and like there's a situation where like a guy could have laid out and possibly made a great play or something, and like he didn't dive. And I'm like, dude, dive. If you never dive, you'll never know what your real range is. You'll never know how far you can stretch it and what type of plays you can really make unless you try it. And so you got to be able to do that. And, I think confidence has a lot to do with that. And that's a mental thing. But yeah, I think it's a great answer, Hunter. And then lastly, before we let you go, man, what are you most excited for in regards to coaching with us this summer?
I'm really excited about just building relationships with the players and kind of helping them reach their next level. Because I remember when I was 16 and I was trying to get recruited and everything and improve at different aspects. And I think I had a lot of coaches who instilled that in me and built relationships with me and helped me do that. So I'm really excited about being able to do that. And especially when I coached last year was kind of the same way. Like any opportunity I had to kind of build up relationships and see the kids grow was really important to me.
Nice. Yeah. We're in a unique position as coaches. Obviously it's a privilege to coach players. Did my camera go out there?
Yeah, it should pop back up.
Okay, we're good. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're in a unique position when it comes to coaching. Like it's such a privilege. Like, you're put in a leadership role, and the impact you can have on kids is just massive. And so obviously that's something to really be excited about, man. And that's, I think, like we talked about, I can't remember if it was the first podcast, but Coastal Stars family. And that's what it's all about, man. It's building those relationships. So I hope we can certainly help you do that this summer. And I think we're going to have some great kids on your team. But yeah, Coach Park's going to be one of our 16U coaches this summer, closer at Emmanuel. He's got a master's degree in coaching. He's going to be a great coach. He's going to provide a lot of pitching insight for our guys. But yeah, Hunter, thank you for your time. Do we want to circle back? Did anybody drop any questions?
Not particularly for Hunter. I guess
so.
Maybe for you, Coach Justin. I'll let you check that comment
Joe
out.
Mama, you're going to have to reveal yourself.
Yeah, we don't know who you are. So
before we answer any of your questions, we got a comment from Coach Ked. Cool/clutch moment. Watching Hunter light up the radar gun in a huge win over ranked North Georgia just a couple years ago.
I don't want to hear that. Why you got to beat us? Hey, they're
4 years.
Oh, shots fired. Dang.
No, I love it. That's good. Yeah, because when I was there, it was the opposite. Actually, we probably, I think we set a record for most points scored, but y'all weren't even D2 back then, I don't think, or y'all had just gotten into D2. So it's good to see that the program is progressing the way it is, especially getting guys like you. I know Ked's up there as well, so
yeah,
that's been cool to see.
Yeah, Emmanuel, we spent a lot of time up there. That's where Coach Trent played as well. So yeah, Hunter, thank you for your time. Thanks for hopping on, man. You did a great job with the questions. We're really excited about getting after it with practice this Saturday. We'll see you there. You'll get to meet a lot of the kids that you'll be able to have an impact on. But yeah, man, that's all we got for you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Hunter.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
See you, Hunter. Appreciate it, man.
You too.
All right, and so we are back. Hopefully your camera comes up, but they can still hear you loud and proud. But yeah, also we had Coach Ked pull up with that last comment that we just read. So shout out to Coach Ked. another one of our great coaches, been coaching with us the last couple of years, and just great all around. Just guy to have around as well. All
Shout out
right,
to Coach Ked. What up, Ked?
Yes. All right, so let's get into this. Oh, you know what? I think the camera may have died. Or
Is that what
something.
happened? I think
Or maybe overheated.
Let me see what we got.
I don't know. Hey, you find out. My name is Right Done. I just used this email for random
I think he's just
stuff.
a friend. He's just a friend tuning into the podcast tonight. That's fine.
I love it. Shout out to Right Done.
Yeah. So it looks like
I guess he's a friend of Hudson Starley.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
He,
I know Hudson was in the comments too. We got Ethan in the comments. What's up, guys? Dustin Pass.
So I mean, did you want to answer the question for his friend?
That's to be determined on a scale of 1 to 10. I think Hudson's going to be a good athlete, though.
Yeah,
he looked good at his tryout when I met him. So excited about Hudson for sure. But yeah, it looks like we lost my camera, but that's fine.
I'm gonna do one quick thing, so just entertain the people.
That's fine. I'll go through a couple things. While Coach Josh is attempting to fix my camera, wanted to give kind of an update on a few other all-region guys that we got here in the program. Some of the other guys that are still playing in the playoffs. We've got some of our Lanier County guys. I want to give a shout-outs to Talon Tarbox, first team all-region. Ashton Cook, second team all-region, as well as Hayden Mullis, second team all-region. And we've also got Caden Cook as an honorable mention. I saw that those were posted this week, so I wanted to give a shout-out to those guys. So the all-region awards are going to continue to trickle in, I think. So as you guys know, if you guys get honored as an all-region guy, definitely let us know. We want to shout you guys out. We want to celebrate with you. We want to congratulate you. So yeah, that's what we got there. Congratulations to those 4 guys. I think we'll get some more over the next few weeks, hopefully. And Coach Josh is still working on my camera. He says we got it. All right. While he's doing that, guys, anybody in the comments, drop us a question right now. If you guys have a question, we'll have Q&A towards the end of the podcast here in the next few minutes. If anybody's got a question,
you can drop it now and I'll save it. I can save it in a queue. So
yeah.
You can drop questions whenever. You can also drop questions. You can also drop questions during the week or whatever. Maybe we need to start like a little form or something for the kids to submit podcast questions, or even parents.
Yeah.
So maybe when you do the initial promotion that you do generally on like a Friday, Thursday, send out a little form and say, hey, look, if you have any questions that you want answered on the podcast, obviously please keep them appropriate and, podcast appropriate, please. But yeah, if they have anything, we'll go through them and we can pop them up on the screen.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, Jaden Daniels popping in with a comment. Oh, welcome back as well, Justin.
Oh yeah, we got my camera. Very nice.
He's
thoughts on Lowndes. So Lowndes is still in it. They got Brookwood in the Elite 8. Let me pull up these brackets.
Is Jaden Daniels at Lowndes?
Jaden Daniels is at Lowndes.
Okay, cool.
That
awesome.
is correct. Yeah, we got several Lowndes guys down there. Let's see if I can pull up these brackets again. I don't know too much about Brookwood. Jaden, you let us know. Drop a comment, man.
Yeah, Brookwood is always like, I played a ball with a couple guys from Brookwood, and they seem to always be pretty solid, like their school.
Yeah, so they beat Grayson 15-5 and 1-0 in the 2 games in the Sweet 16. So now they got matched up at Lowndes. I'm trying to see who's seated higher. I wonder where that game is going to be held at. Jaden, do you guys know? Are you guys at home for that series, or y'all on the road? Pitching rotation is really good, he says. I'm sure they are, man. If they're in the Elite 8.
They said 1-0, and 15-5. Like 5 runs is.
Mm-hmm.
You score 15 runs, it doesn't even matter. You give up generally.
He says they're at home, man. I don't know too much about Brookwood. I'd have to do some research on them. But yeah, man.
if y'all are at home, I think y'all have home field advantage, and especially in high school, is so important, and it just gives you that much more of a boost because you know that you have like your whole town coming to watch you play. So yeah, I mean, I think y'all will be fine.
Yeah, exciting stuff. They'll be playing Wednesday and Thursday, so that's definitely on our radar to follow you guys and see how you guys do. We've also got our Effingham County guys playing as well. They're matched up against River Ridge. We've got some Hoco guys. They're playing Pope. So some big series coming up. And we already mentioned the Stevens County versus Franklin County series. So yeah, exciting stuff going on.
Yep. Just wanted to progress that real quick, go through these. So yeah, we already shouted out these guys, but want to make sure Caden Cook with honorable mention. Or wait, is that was supposed to be Ashton, I think.
Sounds good.
Was Ashton
Ashton was first or second team, and then Caden was honorable mention.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess I put the same Cook brother for the picture because
they look pretty similar.
They look exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hayden Mullis, second team all region, and is it Talon? Talon Tarbach. I've never got a picture of Talon.
He's elusive.
He's just one of the guys I just never got a picture of. So
yeah, Talon's super.
But yeah, shout out to all those guys doing it big. So yeah, just keep continuing to update us as you know those all region honors or any awards that you get throughout the season. We'd love to shout you out, recognize you here on podcast. Okay.
Yeah. Very good. All right, we can move on now.
Yep.
We'll talk briefly about the 14U guys. So we played over the weekend, up at Lake Point, played against some good competition. The guys got some good reps in. One of the things that I think we're doing a pretty good job of is getting, some of the guys ABs and also getting guys on the field, different positions and stuff like that. So they're learning a lot. Our first game we tied. We had the winning run on third base with one out. We went on contact. We ended up hitting a 2-strike ground ball to third. We got thrown out at the plate.
Oh, that's tough.
And then I had a pinch hitter, Ethan, come up, and he struck out, with the game on the line. But it was an exciting game. So we tied our first game, lost our second game, and lost our third game. But our notes pages on our coaching sheets were getting full. And so after the games, the post-game talks, we probably never talked about it on the podcast. But those post-game talks are so important that we hit our notes and help the guys learn. And I think there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to talk about really quickly is the process of – because, a lot of people and a lot of organizations, they show up, they play. The coach will say – it's kind of like – not necessarily like high school, but it's kind of like the rec ball in a sense where – it's like you did bad or you did good, go home, think about what you've done, essentially.
Right. Just be better.
Yeah. That's not at all what we do or what we strive to do. Like we have coaches sheets and you can probably kind of
I can show one.
You can show one.
Let me find one with our notes here. So here's our coaching sheet. Here's our stat sheet.
Yeah.
Here's all of our
You can
notes.
see the bottom. Yeah. It gets filled up pretty rapidly. And all of our coaches use the same system. So that, we're all in one accord, and it's just easy. We have a system that's very easy to, if we're not, manually on the board, we can, tell a player if they're, doing the graph to say, hey, just write down this note. So, it makes it easy for us. And then we don't forget things as well as we're going through. Cause game goes on, we're thinking about a million different things. It's kind of hard to remember what our center fielder did in that second inning and, how that impacted, but it could be a good teaching moment that you just missed because you didn't write it down. So that's a big reason why we do it. For
sure. My brain is way too small to remember all the things. That's why taking the notes is so important. So you'll see a lot of our coaches probably taking the notes, throughout our season. And speaking of notes, I love to do it because now we get to go back and talk about it some more.
Right.
We can highlight the guys who performed really well. And that's kind of what I want to do. That's why I've got the sheets here. And anytime I've got a guy who goes like 3 for 3 or 2 for 3 on quality at bats, that's important to me. We talk about, the statistics a lot, the quality of bat percentage.
We'll talk about them just briefly here in the next
do you
segment,
have something queued up? Did you make anything for 14U? If not, that's...
I didn't, because I didn't get a chance to put in their stats, but we'll definitely go through them next week for sure.
Yeah, no, I can run through it and kind of talk about some guys that I've got on the chart here in front of me, and I will miss some guys, so y'all don't take it personally. Okay, I'll miss some, but Cullen Marsh, 2 for 3, and we'll go through kind of game by game. The first game, I had a lot of guys. We hit the ball pretty well, and we ended up tying, I think it was 6-6 or 7-7. I can't remember which. But we made it through the lineup almost 3 times, which is a good, when you're only limited to an hour and a half. We had rain over the weekend, so we had an hour and a half time limit. Anytime you can get through the lineup 3 times in an hour and a half, you're doing pretty good. But Cullen Marsh was 2 for 3. That game on quality bats, Holton Roberts got 2 walks. He was 2 for 3. Jake Dutcher 3 for 3 on quality bats.
Hey, shout out to him.
Picked up a few RBIs. Barrett Wheeler had 1. Noah Dunning with 2 singles that game. So Noah, really proud of how he's played behind the plate recently and at the offensively as well. So he's hit some balls hard. And we played good enough to win that game and just couldn't get the job done. And early on, we talked about it. The theme with our 14U so far had kind of been unearned runs. And, our pitchers had been throwing enough strikes for us to be competitive, and we had put up enough runs to be competitive. We just gave the other team too many free runs by making errors. We had a couple balls, actually 3 or 4 balls over the weekend, get past our outfielders. Yeah. Whether it was a bad angle or we didn't read the spin correctly. And those are things that we talked about, with all the guys. And so we're learning for sure. And unfortunately, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. But that was game 1. And in game 2, Cullen Marsh again, 2 for 3 on quality bats. Graham Gaines, 2 for 3. He smoked a double down the line. I could have sent him to third. I think he would have been safe, but I didn't want to make the last out at third. You know how that goes.
Yeah, it's just those split-second decisions that you got to make.
Yep, it was tough. Tanner Adrian had a good game 2. He had 2 singles. And let me see who else. Ethan Wheeler had a quality at bat. Nixon had a quality at bat. And one of the things I love too is, it's different guys. It's not,
the same guys.
Yeah, it's not the same guys. And I like when different guys are able to contribute. You know, it can get super frustrating when there's only 3 or 4 guys who contribute. And another guy, if I move to game 3, Zachary Lumen, I had him hitting 10th in the lineup. Bless his heart, he twisted his ankle playing soccer at school in PE last week.
Oh, not in PE.
Yeah, and so I told him to stick to baseball. But he got up there. He's limping around all weekend. We couldn't play him on defense because he put a ball in play, and I had him steal second because he was like, "Yeah, I'm good to go, coach." I had him steal second game 1. He was thrown out by 20 feet, and I was like, "Okay, we're gonna have to pitch run for you, buddy." But he got 2 singles. He hit 2 balls hard down the left field line in game 3, so that was awesome to see. And that was a game where we only had 4 or 5 hits, and my 10-hole had 2 of them, so that's awesome to see. So Zach, keep swinging it, man. I want to encourage you. Graham Gaines again, 2 for 2 on quality at bats that game. But yeah, man, a lot of kids contributing from a lot of different spots and a lot of learning going on. And really, that's what it's all about. Ethan Wheeler hit one hard as well. And that was a game, too, where we hit several balls hard, and it was like a one-hopper right at their second baseman. So that happened a few times.
It just happens, yeah.
And then, a few defensive miscues, and that's why we lost. But, yeah, good stuff.
If there's one thing I could try to drive home to the 14U, because, obviously if I coach the older kids most of the time, so I don't get to interact with them as much. But if you can just play defense in these tournaments, just solid defense, and don't give away free runs, limit your walks and your freebies, you're going to win a lot of games. Like literally, it doesn't even matter how you hit.
No,
you can even get no hit sometimes because I've seen it. We've given up, I've had a game where we've lost and given up 2 or 3 hits. And we out hit the other team, but we gave up so many free runs, errors, just the whole 9. The other team had 10 runs. Right. We had 5, So if there's one thing that I could say, make defense is paramount. And you can get picked up going to college if you're a really good defender. So don't overlook it. I know we place a lot of emphasis on hitting, which we should because it's a big part of the game. But defense is also crucial because, like they say, defense wins championships. So,
yeah, no doubt about it. We got 34 people watching.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Shout out to you guys.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you guys have any questions, drop them now because we're nearing the end of our podcast here tonight. But yeah, 14, you guys will be back at it this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, well, we can get into your
so before we get into that, if I could just have your attention for just a little while. All right, so we've been keeping up with stats the last few years. Well, actually, just officially the last year with the big database that we collected. And you've heard us, say things like carry rating and different things like that. But over the last week or so, I've really been crafting like a full system. It's called Proflytics. That's going to help us, speak the language of the Coastal Stars and speak the language of showcase baseball. Because when you say like a guy hit like 280 or 400 in summer ball, a lot of times it's a difference between a few at bats. And so what these metrics and these stats, actually, let me see if I got this good to go. Yep, there we go. So yeah, so like I worked on this handbook. I sent it to Coach Justin, and I'm just going to kind of show you, the different stats. So there's basically 5 core stats that make up Proflytics. So carry rating is one of them. You've already seen that. And that basically just measures you to the benchmark of a superstar just performance. Basically, like this guy essentially is going to college, he's starting, he's going to rock it out. And so that's what carry rating is. And I actually had to make a slight adjustment to the formula. So a lot of people's carry ratings went way up. I mean, it's all proportional, so it's not like you jumped anybody. But your carry rating is probably likely higher now when we send you the stuff. But then you also got things like Bolt, Blast, SWAR, which stands for Star War, which I think is really cool. We're going to do something really cool with that I'll reveal later. And then Profit. And they all are acronyms for, different things. And so you'll see like the overall philosophy of it. It's tailored for high school showcase baseball, built to maximize insight for short season performance. It evaluates true player value using proprietary metrics. So these metrics are designed to thrive in limited plate appearance environments, helping coaches and scouts identify high impact players based on quality, not just volume. And so, like I said, we don't get that many plate appearances. I think the most last summer, which is obviously our longest season, was around 60 to 70. Actually, that may be a stretch. I think it was around 60. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard to get a true average. It's hard to get, a true like OBS and things of that nature that people generally rely on. And so these things, help whittle that down. And so this is what these things stand for. And this is the last thing I'll touch on for today. So Bolt, it just measures your leadoff / on base threat. And so it's essentially how disciplined you are and how good you are at getting on base. And Blast is kind of the opposite. It's like it measures your power, like your impact of like how many extra base hits are you generating and things of that nature. Carry, we went over. It's just your overall offensive dominance relative to an elite benchmark. SWAR, so if you are a nerd like I am and you love, baseball stats, WAR is a stat that's, blown up over the last decade. And it's used to compare like who's truly good over, you can compare, Babe Ruth to somebody now because of, how their WAR is. And so we have something called Star War now. So for all the Star Wars fans out there, I'm sure y'all would be thrilled about that. But that's just like a cumulative impact stat, essentially. And the last thing is Profit, which is the MVP metric, is how we crown our MVPs, at least from the database perspective, because it is essentially your WAR accumulated over the course of the season. So like you have high production plus over the amount of plate appearances that you have, you accumulate more money because obviously you're getting good return on your investment. So but we'll be going through what these stats mean so you guys get familiar with them. So when we're putting stuff up on the screen or talking about stuff in a certain way that you know what we're talking about. So
yeah,
that's Proflytics. That's kind of what's coming down the pike.
Very cool stuff there. Like Josh said, he's a nerd. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff there to help us figure out like who the quality players are, who's having the best offensive contributions. Yeah, man, some cool stuff there. And,
and it also helps us, game plan effectively.
Oh, no doubt.
And not only game plan effectively, but talk to scouts effectively too. Because we're like, because they ask us, sometimes nuanced questions, and we're like, wait, let me look at my stat sheet. And sometimes those stats don't always tell the full story.
Right.
And so that's what, this is aiming to solve, is to get a real clear picture and to, better understand our guys, to help us coach them better on what they need to do better. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, big thing too, like I've been talking to this, like about the 14U guys, is like, I know the percentages of like your strikeouts. Like I know who's got 50% strikeouts, and I know who hasn't struck out yet. And like those guys that want to be at the top of the lineup, like if you're striking out 40% of the time, there's just no way I can do it. Like, because we play at too high a level for me to try and do that. And a lot of times I will, like I'll mix things up. I'll throw a guy in the 2-hole, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like the numbers, you can't argue with the numbers.
Right.
And so that's why it's so important to have a good understanding of what production is and how, as an offensive player, I contribute to the team and I help the team win ultimately.
Right. And I think it's also good to lay out this for parents, because, sometimes as, parents, you're obviously there for your kid and you want your kid to be in the best position to get the most opportunities. And we're, racking our brains constantly trying to make sure that, everybody gets the playing time that they deserve as well. And so this helps kind of smooth it over, and give the parents an understanding of how we're structuring things so that they're not completely blindsided when we make certain decisions.
For sure. Yeah. We, that's one of the things that we really, really work hard on is getting kids reps and getting them opportunities. And like our last game, I mean, I had my outfielders changing every inning. I had 2 or 3 different second basemen out there.
Right.
I had 2 or 3 different third basemen. I had 2 guys at first, like, just trying to get kids reps. And the more positions they learn how to play, the higher their IQ gets, because now all of a sudden, instead of just playing catcher, now you can play first. Yeah. And now you understand how the rotation is supposed to be and how you're supposed to trail the hitter on a double.
Yeah, you understand the game more.
You understand the game better. And now that makes you a better catcher, because now you're able to read and be like, oh, no, don't cut 4, cut 3 instead. And so stuff like that is huge, man. Just getting guys reps at different positions is important to me because it helps them learn how to play the game at the higher level. So,
no, absolutely.
A lot of cool stuff there.
All right. So this is the time for you guys to ask us any questions. We're going to get into inner squads and practices and the things that we got coming up over the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I think we got 1 or 2 questions in there that I got saved. But yeah, feel free to drop some more, or if you have a comment then that you would like sharing, like put it on the screen, drop that as well. But yeah, Coach Justin, what do we have coming up these next few weeks?
Yeah, so we've got our preseason practice here for the 15U to 17U guys. So big, practice is where we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Really excited to get the boys together. And it's funny, I had, less than an hour ago, we're about to start the podcast. Somebody's texting me if we got room for players. And so, people are still wanting to come be a part of the program, just a few days before the practice. And so it's really exciting to finally get everybody together. And we're going to talk about a ton of stuff. The players get to meet their coaches. We get to start talking about our signs and our plays, the first and thirds, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, it's going to be fun. I'm hoping the rain can hold off, but yeah.
Yeah, that's always the big factor there. Yeah. So yeah, talk about the week after inter squads, why we do that, and because I think we added that probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, and I think it really helped tremendously.
Right.
Especially having that time for the players to kind of at least play together or get game like reps before they just kind of thrown in the fire at Lake Point.
Right. Yeah. So the opening inter squads, those are going to be at Georgia College. We always try to get the guys on the college fields if we can. It's almost like a little visit, and a lot of times too, the college coaches will be there, and Coach Belcher might be like, hey, like who you got? Like who are your good 16, 17 you guys? And I'll give them some names. A lot of times that'll happen, and we like the relationships, and that's like what we talked about with Coach Parks. It's all about connections,
right?
Who and so we like to use the college facilities, and the purpose of the inter squads is obviously we got to figure out how to mesh the players, and that's one of the big things too. And like our guidelines and what we do, it's challenging because we're pulling kids from all over who've never played together, and they're on a team. And now I got 2 kids, 3, sometimes more than 2 or 3 who are like their starting shortstop for their high school.
Yeah.
And maybe their high school team wasn't very good. And on this team, they're the third best shortstop.
Yeah.
And so, there's some challenges with that, obviously. Yeah. And that's why players have to be flexible. That's why they have to have the knowledge and the ability to play multiple positions. But it's all about balance us figuring out how we can maximize playing time, opportunities, and keeping the teams competitive. And that's what it's all about, getting the reps, getting to know each other, messing up our plays so that hopefully when we're at Lake Point, we don't mess them up. So that's what it's about. That's why we do it. And a lot of learning for sure.
I love it. All right. So we did have this one question from, I forgot Joe Mama's name already. What did he say his name was?
I don't know. I don't even know if that's a real name.
No, he said it. He said his name at one of the comments earlier.
It was like, well, right done.
Right. There we go. So yeah, one of the comments from Right. I'm just gonna have to remember that. He said, "What is one way I can improve my hitting? I try so hard at practice, but nobody notices. It really makes me sad." Well, thank you for the question and the comment. I think the biggest thing when it comes to hitting is just becoming a student of the game. Not only getting your reps in, but also watching how the big leaguers get in, because a lot of it, the thing with hitting is your approach once you get into in-game scenarios that makes you a good hitter. Because I've seen guys, especially in college, not take the best BP. I probably didn't take the best BP, but I was very scrappy in my mentality and my approach once I got into the box. But it comes with being disciplined in how you go about, doing your tee work. It's not like you're trying to hit the cage bombs, as they say. It's like, no, like I'm a guy who's fast. I'm going to get in here. I'm going to work on hitting low hard contact all the time and letting my hands fly, and doing things of that nature. So you got to know what makes you valuable as a player and then work on your craft. And watch guys who are ahead of you, whether it's college or big leaguers, who have similar skill set as you, and model your game after that.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of baseball comes down to approach and mentality and mindset. But yeah, other than that, I don't think we had too many questions tonight. That's fine.
What guys y'all for?
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is either.
Ryan Reno?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm not sure. Hey, Rian or Ryan, can you clarify that question? We'll give you a second to
shout out to Josh's cat.
That. Yeah,
Panos.
My cat Panos just jumped in my lap.
Stealing some spotlight time there.
He's definitely hungry. But yeah, other than that, we are just gearing up for this new season. We want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging with us a little bit later because of the technical difficulties. Shout out to Coach Hunter again for joining. It was good that was my first time talking to him. Mm-hmm. So I know Coach Justin obviously been in communication with him throughout the hiring process and whatnot, but that was my first time I got to interact with him. So it's cool. I think we got like a little coaches meeting that we get to hey buddy, you're gonna have to calm down. That we get to kind of go over the season tomorrow. So we are excited. Yep. Jaden, we'll see you at practice, my man.
Yep. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That's all we got for tonight.
Yep. Oh, on the way out, you are going to get, speaking of the new stats, you're going to get the top 10 in a new category. I forgot. Oh, it's profit. These are our top 10 active profit accumulators. So yeah, I'm not doing like the big outro. That's for the intro and everything. It's just going to be some nice music. So cool. Stay tuned if you've been active and your name might come across. Top 10 guys coming at you. Thank you, guys. We will see you probably next week at some point, but we'll definitely see you Saturday.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See you.